My name is Benjamin Jaworskyj, photographer and adventurer. And in this movie, I'm on a photography road trip from the biggest island to the highest mountain in my home country, Germany.
I want to take you on an adventure. The adventure on the hunt for the one photo. To get it, I'll travel to the end of the world. Find me through the ice of Antarctica or the heat of Sahara. I'm searching for spectacular landscapes, wild animals, and capture them on the chip of my camera. For eternity.
It's 6:59 early in the morning. I'm at Rügen and I want to go to the famous chalk cliffs of Rügen. But for that, I have to go through the dark forest and I hope that I find the path.
With a small torch, I walk through the dark forest of the Jasmund National Park. The smallest national park in Germany. Here in the north of the country, next to the Baltic Sea, my journey begins. For 1 week in autumn, I travel all across Germany, searching the most spectacular landscapes my home country has to offer. Dawn is breaking at the horizon, and I got the tip that there must be a stair somewhere leading down to the beach.
Danger of landslides, danger of falling branches, beware of falling rocks. I never photographed that dangerous before in Germany, so keep your eyes open.
Down the small wooden stair, I reach the sea. And there they are, the famous chalk cliffs of Rügen. It's sunrise in about 20 minutes. But the sky is pretty cloudy this morning, and my chances to see the sun are low. Along the beach, I look for a foreground. Amongst the landscape itself, the most important thing in my images.
Okay, the leaf is on the rock and that is my foreground. It was very hard this morning to find a good foreground. There are several rocks around here. There are, I always call it that bacon stuff around here, but it's not that cool to have it in the foreground. The sun was in that direction and was actually not that great this morning as well. There were many clouds. The sky was not changing color at all. So I had to just use the cliffs itself and a very strong foreground. I then found that rock here, which has a nice structure. It's black and it's red, but all by itself, it's not strong enough. So I remembered an old trick I used in the Black Forest where I photographed in fall maybe 3 years ago, and I just had that very yellow and very shining leaf. And I just walked around that beach here and I found again a big yellow leaf. It was the only one laying around. I don't know from which tree it comes because I don't see that kind of tree. It's a maple tree somewhere around here. So it was kind of a sign for me to just use that yellow thing on that black and red rock. And then everything is about timing because the waves hit pretty strong right now. So I have to capture the shot before the waves hit the leaf. And of course the cliff in the background. Everything together got me some very, very wet feet. But anyway, the shot is nailed.
There's not much more than some small leaks of light this morning. And I decide to go further along those mighty cliffs.
Those chalk cliffs are around 60 to 70 meters high. And they look very massive, especially from the distance. But when you get close and just try to scratch with your fingernail, you see how soft everything is. And that's why it's so dangerous. to stand up there at the edge of the cliff, because the cliff can fall down anytime. And as well down here, it's not the safest place to walk around. Now I'm meeting with the real Rügen expert, and he will tell me why this bay is called Pirates Bay.
The thrill about photos at the sea is to capture the game of the waves. But one thing is for sure, you will get some wet feet.
There comes the wave and woo! All right, when the sky is not that dramatic and not that interesting, what I try to do is have a nice foreground. In this case, we have a perfect stone and the waves hitting that stone. So for me, the best moment to capture the photo is when the waves actually hit the rock. When you want to capture the waves hitting a rock or just water hitting a rock, what you need is a shutter speed. I try to be between 1/3 of a second and half a second. In that case, the water is not smooth, so not super smooth, but still a bit silky, I would say. So you don't have like small drops of water on the rock, but yeah, just movement. And that is what is interesting in the foreground. Yeah, so now the right timing. I have to wait for the waves. And when the waves are coming, there comes one big wave. Now I hope I don't get any more wet. I'm already pretty wet. Okay, that comes and boom! That looks epic.
I'm meeting with Frank Biederstedt. He's the head of the town archive in Sassnitz and knows a lot about this region.
Ich habe vorhin gesehen auf dem Schild hier, dass das hier die Piratenschlucht ist. Warum heißt sie so?
Die Piratenschlucht hat ihren Namen natürlich von unserem legendären Volksheld Klaus Störtebeker. Und durch die Jahrhunderte, nachdem man Klaus Störtebeker irgendwo zum Volksheld erklärt hat, hat natürlich jede Region in Norddeutschland versucht, irgendwie einen Ort zu finden, um den mit Klaus Störtebeker in Verbindung zu bringen. Und bei uns auf Rügen, wir haben recht viele Sagen, die um Klaus Störtebeker drehen. Zum Beispiel haben wir hier im nördlichen Bereich auf unserer Halbinsel Jasmund, 10 Kilometer von hier, einen Ort, der nennt sich Ruschwitz, und da soll er angeblich geboren worden sein. Und hier die Piratenschlucht, die hat ihren Namen deswegen, weil man in bestimmten Ausbuchtungen hier entlang der Steilküste seine Schätze vermutet hat. Also er hat ja den Reichen genommen und den Armen gegeben, natürlich seine Schätze vergraben, und die Piratenschlucht ist eine solche Ausbuchtung in der Kreideküste, wo man seine Schätze vermutet hat.
Das heißt, man hätte theoretisch noch das Glück.
Vielleicht kommen irgendwann mal seine Goldketten und alles zum Vorschein.
There were real pirates in Germany. And who will know? Maybe we are really standing close to the treasures of Pirate Störtebeker. A real jewel can be found already on top of the chalk cliffs. The old beech forests belong to the UNESCO World Nature Heritage since 2011.
On top of the chalk cliffs you find that amazing beech forest, which is especially in fall amazing to watch and to photograph. But here at the coast, still everything is green.
The lighthouses at the Cape Arcona are still active today and lead the ships of the Baltic Sea their safe way. Rügen is the biggest island in Germany. The landscape is clearly marked by the chalk cliffs. But also away from it, you can find moors, bays, and lagoons. Back on the mainland, I drive southeast, along the alleys and fields of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, Brandenburg, and Saxony. Here right next to the Czech border is the area of Saxon Switzerland and its most famous place, the Bastei Bridge of Lumen. 1.5 million visitors come here every year, as many as in no other part of a national park all over Germany. When you want to take photos here all by yourself, you need to get up very early or go to bed very late. And I do both.
Wow, it's super dark right now. The moon is behind the clouds, somewhere over there. And I will now go on the viewing platform over there. There you can see the bridge and all the nice landscape. And when the moon comes out again, then I will get some very unusual shots.
The moon is fighting its way through the clouds and shines softly on the sandstone rocks. I go to the viewing platform, where a day hundreds of people pass. But at this time of the day, I'm all by myself. Even at night, you can take amazing images of this landscape that look like they were made during day, only with the light of the moon.
One of our toughest spots at the whole journey is the Bastei Bridge, because it's a very popular spot and a lot of people come here every day in huge buses, big groups of tourists. So find a spot here and a time when you are all alone is pretty hard here at the Bastei Bridge. But what I thought about is, today is full moon, so why don't we use the full moon as our light source and photograph at night as if it would be day, but only with the moon and not with the sun. And that's what I just tried out and it works perfectly. So that's a great example of doing things different.
To take images that nobody has, you need to do things that nobody does. Time to go to bed. Because the next morning I'm awake early again and look for an image along the bridge, away from the other photographers that are up this morning as well.
Early in the morning I maybe slept for 4 hours or something, and it was totally worth it, because tonight I already photographed at the viewing platform up there, and right now there are plenty of photographers because it's a nice spot in the morning. The sun is rising right there, but because I was there already while it was dark, while the full moon was up and I could already take some great pictures there, I decided to just change position and don't go there where all the people are going in the morning. So I just go in the wrong direction right now, because sun is rising there and there's the Bastei Bridge. So it's pretty clever because all the people are there and I'm right here and I have a perfect view, nobody around, and actually the colors in this direction are very cool.
The sun is rising slowly and I walk along the metal bridges of the remainings of Castle Neuraten. It was first mentioned 800 years ago, but there's not much left today, because it was mainly built of wood.
This landscape seems to be from another world. It's totally crazy. Just look at the tree here in the background. It's growing out of a heavy rock and it's bending just like this. It's a perfect picture to take. And right now the sun comes from this direction, so it lights the tree from the side just like a painting or something. The only thing I have to do is just hit the shutter and bam, burn the image on the sensor. The only thing, it's very, very high here and you stand on a bridge, and when you are afraid of height, then don't look down. I'm shaking in my knees and I'm not afraid of height usually, but it's just that small old bridge here, so better don't look down.
The Saxon Switzerland got its name from two artists from Switzerland that visited this area centuries ago and felt like home with all those hills and rocks. The Bastei Bridge is named after the big rock on that it was built. And you might think that it's from medieval times, but it was only constructed in 1851, when they removed the old wooden tourist bridge. The light is still good and I decide to visit the Kirnitz Valley. A short moment is left to enjoy the sounds of nature. Before the parking lots are filling, and it's time for me to move on. To the west of the country. One of the most beautiful castles in Germany. In contrast to the castle of Neuraten, the Castle Eltz is still in good shape. A piece of medieval history in Rheinland-Pfalz.
Early in the morning, the night was short because the drive to the Burg Eltz was very far and longer than we expected, because we were in the east of Germany, in the very east of Germany, and then drove almost to the very west of Germany, and that was quite a distance. But anyway, now we are here. It's after sunrise already, and we have beautiful fall colors around here. I now looked for maybe different perspective than just the total point of view right in front of the big castle. I wanted to capture the castle more from the side. Then it appears a bit bigger, because from the front you have the big door there, and that blocks a lot from the castle. So here from the side you have a very good view, and you of course see a lot of the landscape, what I want to capture as well. I want to have the castle with the landscape all together. What I look for when I take photos is always a foreground, especially in landscape photography, and here in fall, a very good foreground usually are fall colors, so bushes or trees with a nice color. And in this case, I picked that red, almost orange to red bush here in the foreground. And my extra tip for that is, if you want to capture nice colors, especially in fall, use a polarizer filter. Because I show you a photo now without a polarizer of the same situation. And now the same photo with the polarizer. And as you can see, the colors are amazing with the polarizer. So much red, so much more rich color. And yeah, that's just great to capture fall photos. What I now do, I just walk around a bit and try to capture some different perspectives. Try to do some framing with the nice fall colors. And let's see what we can find around here.
Imposingly, the castle rises up. What it might look like from inside.
Germany is famous for fairy tales, and especially the fairy tales by the brothers Grimm. And this castle in the background totally looks like from a fairy tale. And now go inside and meet with the people actually living there. And of course I want to know how to become a resident of such an amazing place.
Over 800 years the Eltz castle is family owned, but the Earl is not living here anymore. Today's residents are the so-called Castellans. Their job is to manage the castle and its businesses. With one of them I meet today.
Hallo!
Ja, grüße Sie, hallo.
Hallo.
Nils, hallo. Willkommen auf Burg Eltz. Kommen Sie doch rein.
Der Graf wohnt ja selber nicht auf der Burg Eltz, sondern das machen ja quasi Sie als Kastellanin. Wie kommt man dazu, Kastellanin zu werden?
Die Eltern des Kastellans waren hier Kastellane.
Okay.
Und ich habe hier mein Studium finanziert. Und, und wurde dann irgendwann vom Grafen Eltz angesprochen, auch ob ich nicht Interesse hätte, hier weiter zu bleiben. Und ich hatte mich in die Burg verliebt. Nicht nur in den Kastellan, sondern auch in die Burg. Und bin dann geblieben.
Das ist cool. Wie lange jetzt schon?
Ich bin gestartet 1984 als Schülerin hier auf Burg Eltz und habe dann natürlich auch studiert, war dann auch mal weg, kam dann wieder und als Kastellanin arbeite ich jetzt seit 12 Jahren.
Inside the castle you get an idea how it must have been to live here in the past 800 years. Knight armor and hunting trophies of past times. Amazing to explore German history.
I now changed my perspective and I'm at a viewing platform looking down on the castle. And when you are photographing in a place where a lot of tourists are, which are there actually because it's in the middle of the day right now, then I have a good trick for you. Just use a strong ND filter. In my case, it's a 10-stop ND filter. And you have to imagine that like a very dark sunglasses or very dark pair of sunglasses in front of your lens. And because of that, you can make a very long exposure. So one photo takes around, and I just start the exposure right now, takes around maybe 1 or 2 minutes. And in the 1 or 2 minutes, all the people that are moving down there are not visible anymore. And that's a great trick, especially in a very crowded place like it is right now. So while I'm talking, the image is actually taking, and when people are standing at one place, it does not work. So people actually have to move, but usually it's very crowded, very busy, and when you expose long enough, it will work definitely. And if it does not work, just take several images and then stack them afterwards in your image editing software, and that's also a very good trick that I can recommend you when you want to photograph in a place like this.
I drive further south to the famous Black Forest, Germany's biggest and highest coherent mountain ranges. Time seems to pass different here.
The Black Forest is famous in the whole world, not only for its nature, but of course for the cuckoo clocks. And right behind me is the biggest cuckoo clock in the world. But that's not the reason I'm here today. I want to visit the waterfalls in the next village.
Through a tunnel, I drive along the German clock route.
I'm in the Black Forest at the Triberger waterfalls, the highest situated waterfalls in Germany. And right behind me, you can already see a 10 to 15 meter high waterfall, but that's not the only one. There are several stages along the footpath, and that's what I will do now. I will just go up the footpath and see what I can find there, because usually the smaller waterfalls are the good one to photograph.
163 meters. The water falls over the different steps. Where do you start with that many waterfalls?
I now chose a higher perspective right next to the footpath, but without any fences and without any metal things. And that's usually the issue you have when you are at tourist locations where a lot of people come through every day. There are a lot of safety things around. They are artificial, and especially in landscape shots, they don't look too good. So I always look for different perspectives, and especially perspectives without anything in the frame that should not belong there from a landscape perspective. And right here I have the waterfall in the right hand side of the image and some nice other plants in the left hand side of the image. So you have something to look around actually when you take a look at the final image, and yeah, take some time to just watch the image. And that's always my goal, that you actually just spend some time and enjoy the image you've taken. Not only waterfalls you can photograph, but as well wildlife. Almost wildlife. There are wild birds and wild squirrels, but they're super used to humans and especially to peanuts. They are crazy for peanuts. So when I have a peanut in my hand, the chances are high that a bird comes and just grabs the peanut from your hand, or that a tiny little squirrel comes down the tree and goes to you, climbs up your leg and wants to steal, just like a monkey or something, your peanuts. So that is very cool for photography because they come very close. So I chose to pick a wide angle lens, so 60 millimeters, very wide angled, and then I tried the burst mode and a very fast shutter speed, and then just wide angle wildlife shots of the squirrel that worked pretty cool, but as well from the bird. A few shots I could take with the peanut on my hand, but then too many people were around and the birds were gone.
Blazingly fast, the nutcracker birds catch the nuts. And if you're lucky, even out of your hand. Real flight artists. The squirrels are shyer at first, but the more relaxed you are and sit down, the closer they get and catch the nuts. To hide them for the upcoming winter.
I'm now standing at another waterfall here at the Triberger Waterfalls, and this one falls pretty nice because I usually like it when it's just one big flow and not too much of disturbance in the waterfall itself. The only issue here is, and the only difficulty, that the water sprays from the waterfall in my direction. So I need a very good timing and of course a tissue. And with that microfiber tissue thing here, I just clean my lens, hit the shutter and take the shot, and just in that small amount of time it's enough that I have a clean and very crispy and saturated image. My settings right now are f16, 1/2 to 1 of a second and ISO 100. And right now I don't use an ND filter because I don't need an ND filter with that soft light coming from the top. It's a cloudy day and we are right next to a mountain, so the sun is behind that mountain and we get a very good and very great light for waterfall photography.
The Triberg waterfalls are one of the most famous waterfalls in Germany. And they are by far not the only ones here in the Black Forest area. Even though I'm on the road for several days in late autumn, I was quite lucky with the weather so far. Hopefully, it stays like this. I'm leaving the Black Forest, heading south. Along the vineyards and Lake Constance. To the border of Austria and Bavaria.
I'm in the south of Germany now, in Bavaria, and here we have huge mountains, crystal clear lakes and a lot of clouds today. I hope they don't bring any rain.
I shouldn't have said anything. Nonetheless, I try to take 1 or 2 images before the rain starts. That will stop soon anyway.
I'm here at my most favorite spot at the Hintersee in Ramsau. there are those rocks in the water, and there are actually trees growing on that rock, and that looks just amazing for a photo. But today we are not that lucky with the weather. The forecast says rain all day, and it just started to rain right now. So yeah, I just figure out what it will be like, and then I must take a decision if I take more photos or if I just go inside somewhere. But right now it looks like the rain is coming in.
I go back to my car and get some coffee. It will stop soon. Or it won't.
It's raining heavy outside, so I just went in a good old Bavarian traditional restaurant. And when you are in Germany, you definitely need to eat Kasspatzen or Kassnocken or Kässpätzle, depending on in which region you are in Germany. And it's actually macaroni and cheese, but better, I would say. It's just noodles and onion and a lot of cheese, as you can see. Ooh, yeah, that's what it should look like. And of course, what you need to drink is beer. And that's the traditional German drink. If you want to know if your Kässpätzle are good, just take your fork and put it inside, and if it stays there, then it's good. Or at least stays there for a time. As a photographer, you can't change the weather, but you can change what you photograph and how you photograph. And I just had an idea while I was eating. I have my underwater case with me, and an underwater case saves my camera from wetness. So when I'm underwater, it's all wet, and actually it's the same with the rain. It's wet, so this is my huge XXL rain protection. With that, I'm now photographing. But I don't want to do a usual landscape shot. It's an underwater housing. So what I do now, I want to capture an epic over and underwater landscape shot. I have no idea if it actually works or if it does not work. Maybe it's too dark because it's a very cloudy day, but then the rain is no problem for me. Wetness is no problem. I can see in the crystal clear lake, because that's very cool here at those mountain lakes. And I have half the image with under the water surface and half the image with over the water surface, the mountains, the clouds, and maybe the rain.
In the pouring rain, I walk to the lake, and 5 minutes later, I'm soaking wet. But I don't mind. It doesn't get any wetter anyway, but it ain't get easier either.
I tried the underwater housing with the water, but the problem is that it rained since this morning, and because of the ongoing rain, the crystal clear water is not that crystal clear anymore. It's kind of milky, so I don't see much under the water surface, and that's bad if you want to do an under and over water shot. But it looks like the rain will move for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. It's much less rain than just 5 minutes ago, so there is still a chance that I can take the shot, but it's not the easiest conditions. But giving up is not an option.
Such a weather is nothing unusual in a mountain area. The clouds gather and rain down. That can take some time. But I did not travel all the way to only drink coffee and beer.
It actually stopped to rain a bit, so I have the idea that it's maybe just milky here next to the land and not more in the water. So what I try in typical landscape photographer style, take off the shoes, take off your socks and go into the cold water. And I think it's that cold right now. Wish me luck, because there the rain is coming already again. What a day.
The Hintersee is 18 meters deep. It gets not warmer than 16 degrees Celsius in summer.
Let's go!
Right now, it's more like 5 degrees.
Shit.
Air and water temperature.
Oh, shit. It's not that cold, it's like that cold. Alter Dicker.
The water appeared much shallower from the shore. It's over my knees already.
Okay.
The tough part? I don't see what I photograph. I sit on the rock and need to hold my camera halfway underwater. Take a photo, take a look. Take a photo, take a look. With this weather.
What I do for over and underwater shots, I have a big dome port with an underwater housing. That's what I usually use for diving. A big dome port is a great thing. I'm very wide angled, like in landscape photography, 16mm on full frame. Because of the big dome port here, I have like this point here with the surface and this point here with the underground. So with everything under the water surface, and with just a normal plane port, like with a normal lens, it's just like that big, and I have a small area with the top and with under the water surface. So a big dome port is always great if you want to take under and over water shots. But it's very difficult in that situation here, and I hope that I get a bit of the clouds moving away, that I get more light, because when the sun comes from top and the light comes from top, it's much brighter under the water surface and you have a better visibility and a better image quality in the end.
Those may not be the best conditions, but it was worth a try anyway.
Alright, that was some tough challenge. I'm warm now, my feet are super cold now, so it's time for me to go out and heat up a bit and take a look at the photos, because actually I did not see what I photographed. It was just feel and shoot, but I think there's some images there. Right now it starts to rain again, so let's get back. Oh shit. Oh, there's stones everywhere. Those feet are cold.
Just when I was out of the water, the rain started again. It's like all the rain that has been spared the last days is coming down today. For my sake. Then let's do it with rain. Isn't it that dramatic weather that makes this time of the year and scenery so exciting? I'm heading west, along the border of Bavaria, to my last stop, the Zugspitze, the highest mountain in Germany. Front of the Zugspitze is the Alpsee. Just like the Hintersee, it has a fantastic watercolor and panorama. And the best part, it's not raining.
I stand here at the opposite side of the lake because here I have a nice view on the Zugspitze. There's already snow on the mountaintop, so when we go up there, I think it will be very cold, but it's a nice sunny day, or it will be a nice sunny day, and therefore I'm here very early. Most of the people aim for sunrise, but for me in landscape photography, usually my goal, especially in a mountain area, is to photograph before sunrise, because when the sun is rising, it has to go over the mountaintop or over the treetop, depending how close you are to the edges, and then usually the sun is too strong. I want the soft light, the very colorful light before sunrise, and therefore I have to be very early at the location, take a look at all the different possibilities I have here, and then be very fast. And that's the curse about landscape photography. You stand there, you wait there for the right light, you have to walk in the dark and all the stuff, and it might be very relaxing a lot of times, but then when the light is great, you have to be super fast and super accurate. So what I do then is make one shot, portrait mode, landscape mode, a bit more to the ground, a bit more up, then go over to the next spot, different foreground, maybe some tree in the foreground, then different perspective, maybe with the light and not against the light, in just that small 5 to 10 minute time window I have there.
Along the lake, I find more spots and reflections to photograph.
Getting up early was totally worth it. We had around 5 to 10 minutes, some really colorful, crazy light, and still some time left before the sun goes over the trees there. And in the distance, I can see a small island. So let's go there.
The Sasseninsel is one of 8 islands in the lake. They were created during a massive landslide 3,500 years ago. The lake is privately owned. 1884, August Turner got the lake at an auction for 10,000 gold mark and built a guest house at the eastern shore, today's Eibsee Hotel. Then and now, one of the most beautiful lakes in Germany.
What an amazing moment and a perfect example for photography. It's a lot of planning, it's a lot of small time spaces, but in the end it's luck as well, because I wanted to photograph just the island. Then I discovered a nice framing, a tree on the left, a tree on the right, the nice reflection of the Zugspitze in the lake, and from the left as well the land, from the right the land, so a perfect over framing. And then suddenly the sun was coming up behind the mountain and was just giving a nice shine over the mountain peak, and now it's totally out, and yeah, it's the last moment when I can take the photos, and actually the sun is on the crossing point of my grid. So what an amazing composition. But yeah, it's luck, because I thought the sun actually was rising there and not there. But that's what landscape photography is all about. I now turned off all my filters. I don't want to use a polarizer filter, I don't want to use a graduated filter. The graduated filter wouldn't work here anyway because it's too bright. You might get some reflections, you get more lens flares when you use filters, and of course you see dust and spots and all the stuff more when you use several filters and several different glass things. So for me it's just 2 or 3 minutes longer and then it's done, and time for us to go on the highest point in Germany and enjoy the view over the whole country. But first of all, I have to change my clothes because it will be freezing cold and snow is on the top.
For around €50, you can get a ticket for the Cogwheel Railway and reach the Zugspitzplatt in 45 minutes. The sun is shining and the snow is reflecting heavily here at 2,500 meters above sea level.
Our journey through Germany is almost done. There's snow up here already, but we are not at our goal yet. The highest point in Germany, the Zugspitze, is up there.
With the cableway, we reach the peak at 2,962 meters above sea level. the highest mountain in Germany. Spectacular. The view from up here is unfortunately not that spectacular.
We are now at the Zugspitze, the highest point in Germany, but you don't see much from that because there's a huge construction work going on here. Everywhere is just equipment and you don't see much up here. We tried to climb down a small ladder, which was very icy because of the snow, and down there was like a railing, maybe with the ice like this high, so one wrong step and 1 kilometer down. So not the safest place to take photos, and I always say safety first. So we go down now again to the Zugspitze Platt where we were before, and I try to capture there a nice photo, maybe some great mountains with the sun as a star or something. So let's go down again.
While I drive down again, I reflect the past days. Exciting how different Germany can be. The sea and pirates, knights and castles, waterfalls and forests, lakes and mountains. And just as diverse as the landscape is, the colors of autumn were. The beech forests in the north were in lush green, whilst the mountains in the south were covered in snow already. My journey through Germany comes to an end. I was able to experience the beautiful sight of my home country. I wish that more people go out and explore the neighborhood. Go out and explore nature. Go out and, of course, take the one or the other photo. To capture this moment for eternity.
Not the highest point in Germany, but almost. I made my way now through the snow to that platform here, right next to the main tourist attraction. And I will take some more photos here. What a crazy week we had. We started at the Baltic Sea in the very north of Germany, and we are now in the south with a nice view over the mountain, snow everywhere. It's still fall. That's quite a lot that Germany has to offer from a landscape perspective. My name is Benjamin Jaworskyj, and this is #Jaworskyj around the world. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Around the World in Germany. What was your favorite part in this documentary? Write it in the comments below. And if you want to see more of this format in the future, hit thumbs up and of course share the video with as many people as you can. The more people watch the video, the more we can make videos like this, and maybe share the video with a photography magazine as well. Send them the link or to Netflix or to Amazon. Just tell them we want to see something like this on your platform. And yeah, I really appreciate your help, and it was a lot of work and a lot of effort in this project. A big shout out to my whole team. You saw everybody in the final credits, and yeah, see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.